A stray dog brings a community together. There's a robot who has feelings, and there is a young girl who's trying to figure out her place in the world. These are just some of the characters that are in the five most important books that every elementary classroom library needs to have. Hi, my name is Jonathan. This is Mr. Pearson Talks Books. I am an elementary school teacher, and I like to connect students with great books, and I like to help parents and teachers find those books as well. We're going to talk about the five essential books that every classroom library needs to have. I currently teach third grade, so I have a little bit of experience with this. And these are books that I like to encourage my own students in my classroom to read. That some of these are a bit older. They have been around for a while. They're classics of children's literature for a reason. The first one that I think every library needs to have, every classroom library needs to have, is Because of Winn-Dixie by Kate DiCamillo. Now, this is a story of a girl named India Opal. She lives with her father. One day she is at a grocery store and there is a wild dog running crazy. She convinces the manager of the grocery store that the dog belongs to her. When the owner asks her, "What's the dog's name?" she says, Winn-Dixie. And the dog seems to like it. Well, time progresses on. India doesn't have a lot of friends, but because she has Winn-Dixie, and she gets to meet other people in her community, and they all come together. This is a great book. I've really enjoyed reading this many times over the years. There is some sadness to it. Kate DiCamillo likes to bring happiness and sadness and mix them together. So Because of Winn-Dixie by Kate DiCamillo. But another book that I think every classroom library needs to have is Ramona the Pest by Beverly Cleary. Now, when I said at the beginning of the video that these were older books, these are books that I read when I was in elementary school. But Ramona the Pest is about a little girl named Ramona who goes to kindergarten and finds out that things don't always go the way she thought they were going to go. There's misunderstandings, things that she does that she thinks are perfectly okay. Some other people don't think are quite fair. There's a lot of humor in this book. There's a lot of joy. I think you'll find as you read it, and many of your students, even though the book is older, many of your students are going to connect with Ramona. This is a series. There's Ramona the Pest. There's Ramona. The next book is Ramona the Brave when she goes to first grade. Ramona Quimby, age 8, when she is in second grade. Ramona and her father. Ramona and her mother, and so on. There's probably about 5 or 6 in this series. All of them are excellent. All of them are about what it's like to be the youngest in a family and to sometimes be misunderstood, but there's always happiness at the end of the day. Another book that needs to be in every classroom library is Sideways Stories from a Wayside School by Louis Sacker. Now, this particular book, and there are several others in this series as well, it's a collection of 30 different stories. If you don't know the history of Wayside School, it was supposed to be one story with 30 classrooms, but the blueprints got mixed up, and so the builder built it one classroom on each floor, 30 stories high. And all of the stories that take place are in the classroom on the 30th story. And there's all kinds of zany adventures that take place. There's the 3 Erics, and there's the day that the new kid Sammy came to school. There's just all kinds of craziness that takes place. The stories are short. They are hilarious. I read them to my students quite often. They always ask to read more. Sideways Stories from Wayside School. Another book that I think that you should have in your classroom library is The Wild Robot by Peter Brown. This was recently turned into a movie. It's an excellent movie, but the book is so much better. And this is the story of a robot named Roz who is involved in a shipwreck, and she's the only robot that survives. She wakes up and tries to learn how to survive on an island full of wild animals. And there is some heartbreak. There is a lot of adventure, and especially as Roz is trying to raise a bird, a goose, that she rescued after the eggs were inadvertently crushed. And then what happens at the end when Ross's creators come back to get her. It's a fantastic book. There are two others in the story as well. So there's a complete trilogy. And then finally, of the top 5 books that I think every classroom library needs to have is Matilda by Roald Dahl. And this is a story of Matilda. She's born to some absolutely horrific parents that they don't like her. They treat her poorly. It's just a terrible situation for her. And so she tries to make the best of that situation by learning to read. And then as the story goes on, she ends up going to school. But the school that she goes to is run by the worst possible person you can imagine, the Trunchbull. And the Trunchbull runs her school with an iron fist. And so Matilda and the rest of the kids in her class have to figure out how they are going to literally survive being at this school with the Trunchbull in charge. Sometimes the kids can be a little sassy at times. It's kind of something you got to take with a grain of salt. Roald Dahl had a bit of a salty streak to him, but definitely Matilda is one that your students are going to love. 5 books that I think every elementary school library needs to have: Because of Winn-Dixie by Kate DiCamillo, Ramona the Pest and the Ones That Follow by Beverly Cleary, Sideways Stories from Wayside School by Louis Sacker, The Wild Robot by Peter Brown, and Matilda by Roald Dahl. I'm going to leave a link in the comments if you want to grab any of those books on Amazon. I'm pretty sure you can find them in your local library also. Are there any books that you think I missed? Are there any other books that you would include in a classroom library? I hope this helps, and we will see you next time.